Growing pressure on governments to crack down on cyberbullies, but commentators are warning that the cure could be worse than the disease. Chris Berg from the Institute of Public Affairs is among them, and he joins us now. Chris, thanks for joining us. We know that cyberbullies can cause deep pain, but you're against banning them from the internet. Why is that?
I think that it's very clear that cyberbullies and bullies in general can cause extraordinary and sometimes absolutely tragic problems. But my argument is that the proposals being presented by the government, which is to give a big government bureaucrat a censorship power over social media networks, won't solve the problem. They don't tackle the essential bullying problem, and they'll have some pretty serious freedom of speech consequences and even some serious anti-bullying consequences down the track.
I share your concerns, Chris. I have to say, I don't see why the government should have to do this. I think there is a problem with Twitter and Facebook and other social media sites not having enough people to address the problem themselves. But people can block users on Twitter or Facebook if they are being harassed, and that seems to me the best recourse. I don't understand why we're having a sort of, a Department of Propaganda or a secret police saying, all right, well, this is bullying and this isn't.
Stop being mean to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So the big concern here is something like Facebook that's used by a lot of young children. And Facebook over the last couple of years has responded to consumer demand by developing very significant abuse reporting mechanisms. So you don't just have to block them. If somebody is seriously harassing or abusing you on Facebook, there is capacities within Facebook to sort that out. But even on top of that, there's actually existing legal remedies. If there's serious harassment, if there's serious threats to young people or even adults, there's legal mechanisms in place that have been in place for decades that you can use to get redress on those issues.
But Chris, I suppose my big concern is it doesn't seem that that is happening, and that there are a lot of young and maybe not so young people out there who are very vulnerable and they feel very targeted, and it seems like not enough is being done.
I think that not enough is being done on the education level. So all these systems are in place, all these laws are in place, but it's very clear from the research evidence that there's a belief within the community that there are no laws against these sorts of serious harassment. And in part that's because of the politicians who keep telling us that there are no laws against cyberbullying. Well, there are laws against cyberbullying, and the idea that we keep trying to tell people that there aren't is actually entirely counterproductive and leaves those very vulnerable young people in an even more vulnerable position, thinking that there's no way out, when what they really need to do is talk to their parents, talk to teachers, talk to their guardians, and get the help that is already out there.
It's easy to say. I think it's difficult to do, Chris. And as I understand it, this is a discussion paper put out by the government so that we can have this debate that we're having now. So if you're against it, what do you think the government should be doing? I mean, what do you think is the solution, apart from people talking?
The government already has a very large number of anti-bullying programs, and perhaps it could have a large number more. These are educational programs, though. What we're talking about in this discussion paper, however, is a broad new internet censorship power that the evidence suggests will have no impact on bullying, could send students and young people onto less well-controlled social media sites where parents can't monitor their use, and could provide an incentive for those kids not to tell their parents in the first place. This is entirely counterproductive. So while I agree this is a big issue, bullying and cyberbullying is a big issue, but it needs to be tackled by parents, teachers, schools and guardians. The evidence suggests that's the only way we can do this.
All right, Chris Berg there. You actually seem to make a lot of sense. Appreciate your time this morning.
No, thank you so much.